Good evening. It's almost the day is over. Everybody is waiting for the valedictory. But before that, I would like to give a small presentation. And this is a very important presentation. And especially I requested by our Rotarian Chandrakant Chaudhary to tell us about the peace, goodwill and conflict resolution in SAARC nations through tourism. So I'll be speaking on this, and I'll not be taking more than 10 minutes, 12 minutes. So friends, in the earlier discussions we have heard a lot about Rotary and its activities. I'll just stick to the SAARC nations. Today we have India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and Maldives. These are the part of the SAARC nations. Friends, since the ancient times we have seen that during the time of Ashoka, in the Ashokan Empire, in the Mauryan Empire, the SAARC nations were one country, excluding Sri Lanka. So most of the times we were together, sometimes we have been disintegrated. So this is going on since centuries. And we have developed several relations, historical relations. Madam is there from Sri Lanka. So I'll just give some historical relations between India and Sri Lanka, and I will come to the conflict part. So the most important conflict between Sri Lanka and India, it is the ancient one, and this can be seen in the Ramayana. Ramayana everybody knows. So we have this conflict of Ravana over Sita. So we have been there. So this is one conflict. This relation is there. Apart from that, Ashoka, emperor, when he embraced Buddhism, he sent his son and daughter, Mahendra and Sanghamitra, to Sri Lanka to propagate the Buddhist philosophy. So these people, they went there, these missionaries, they went there. After a course of time, after several hundred years, Buddhism was vanished from India. But again, it was revived by Dr. Ambedkar. And that time too, the Buddhist monk from the Sri Lanka, they had come to India to again introduce Buddhism. So this is one relation which I have found. I'll come to the scenario of today's scenario in the SAARC nations. As our police commissioner, he had made one reference to this. So today we have these nations which are in a conflict. Now what is happening? Now around us, around India, we have these nations. What is happening there? If we take the example of Pakistan, since the independence of Pakistan, we are finding that they have a problem. The army is there, sometimes they are ruling, sometimes the democracy is there. Terrorism is a big part of Pakistan, and the terror capital, let us say, it is in Pakistan. We also found Bin Laden in Pakistan. So many things are there. It is not good for the country, and it is not good for the region and not for the world. So these things are going on in Pakistan. In Afghanistan, we have seen from the time of USSR, it is a war-torn, the war is there, the Taliban is there. So we find that total disturbance is there. In Nepal, we find that political instability is there. The monarchy was there, the oldest monarchy was there, but now we have democracy, and again we have the Maoism. So this is going on. In Sri Lanka, in the last 2-3 decades, we have seen that the conflict is there, war is there between the Tamils, especially the LTT was fighting for the Tamil Eelam. So this problem was going on. So again, it is always a problem. Now I will come to the relation between India and the SAARC nations. How are the relations? We always talk about the good part, but the reality is very different. So I will talk something about the reality. First I will begin with India and Pakistan. India and Pakistan, what can I say about the relations? Sportingly we can say that it is like a Tom and Jerry. But since the time of partition, we have the Kashmir issue. It is going on. We have cross-border terrorism. We have the war and battles. Recent one was in Kargil. And overall, we have the rivalry in cricket. So last week in the World Cup match, we have seen that India won the match against Pakistan. India, we celebrated Diwali. Yes. But in Pakistan, we found that the Pakistani people, they broke the TVs. It was shown in the newspapers. Again, the same thing happens. If Pakistan wins the match, again in India we will find the same scenario. So this is going on. India and Bangladesh. Everybody knows Indira Gandhi, late Indira Gandhi, she created Bangladesh, she carved Bangladesh out of Pakistan. And since its creation, we have a border issue with Bangladesh. We have the issues of the water, distribution of water. Most important, specifically in Maharashtra, we have the problem of the illegal migrants from Bangladesh and Mumbai. This is a very big problem. So this is going on. India and Sri Lanka. The conflict is there since Ramayana. Again, the conflict is there between the Tamils and the Sinhalese. If you go to the south of India, we find that the South Indian people, they do not like the Sri Lankans. This is a harsh reality. The same happens when we go to Sri Lanka. Because I was a witness to this scenario in 2011. I had some Tamil friends with me from Madurai. We had been to Sri Lanka. So at that time I have seen this. But again, as madam in her presentation, she has told us about the initiatives that were taken by their club, in the sister club, with the Chennai club. So this is a great initiative, and things are changing slowly and steadily. So this is what Rotary is doing. Now I will come to some initiatives taken by the SAARC, this organization. So in the recent 18th summit of SAARC in Kathmandu, our Honorable Prime Minister was there, and in this summit they have resolved for making South Asia an attractive and common tourist destination in a sustainable manner. They have declared 2016 as the SAARC Year of Cultural Heritage. Again, they have agreed to develop a cultural trail linking major Buddhist heritage sites in the region. Again, facilitate access of persons visiting the prominent and holy sites of Islam, Hinduism, Christianity and all other major religions in the South Asia. This is the declaration, 18th declaration of SAARC. It was in last month. Long back, the United Nations in the year 1967, they have taken this initiative and declared the International Tourism Year with the slogan, Tourism a Passport to Peace. So this is very important development in the history. In 1967, this initiative was taken because the contribution of tourism is there in the mutual understanding and world peace. So with this, I will come to how tourism can promote peace and goodwill between the SAARC nations. We will specifically limit to SAARC nations. We can promote religious tourism. Like we have the Buddhist sites. Now we know that we were one nation, so we have the Buddhist sites in India, Sri Lanka, Nepal and Bhutan. So this Buddhist tourism, this type of tourism can be promoted in these countries. People can travel. We have the Hindu temples in India and Nepal. So religious tourism, again it is possible. Very important religion of India, Sikhism. Both countries have these sites, India and Pakistan. And the only thing when we travel to Pakistan, the people from this side, it is to visit the Gurudwaras in Pakistan. So this is the only activity which we see. Again, very important sites we have of Islam in India. Like we know about the place of Hazrat Bal Dargah in Kashmir. That is a very popular one, popular shrine. But in India we also have the Sufis, the Sufi saints, the shrines at Nizamuddin in Delhi, one in Ajmer, Ajmer Sharif, Khaja Moinuddin Chishti. More important than that, we have the most important sites, Sufi sites in the world that are in this location, Aurangabad. It is just besides Aurangabad, Khuldabad. Here we can find the Sufi saints, Zarzari Baksh and all. So these people, they came from Bukhara and they stayed here and they stayed back here and they lived here for several centuries and their shrines are still available. One very important and unique thing which India possesses in Islam is that we have the holy relics of the Prophet. These are the hair relics, and one jacket or one robe, it is worn by the Prophet. It is in Khultabad, and once in a year during the Urus we show it. So this can be promoted. This type of tourism can be promoted, religious tourism. Again, in the SAARC nations, cricket is very popular. So we can promote sports tourism. Sports tourism is very important. We always talk about cultural tourism, but in sports, we find that yesterday's match at Melbourne, 1 lakh spectators were there in the stadium, and half of them they were from the other countries. So this is the magnitude of the sports tourism. People travel for this purpose. Again, we can promote certain types of niche tourism. Whatever adverse has happened, we can again change it. Like we always talk about Ram and Ramayana. We have so many conflicts in India, but where the Ramayana took place, that place it is in Sri Lanka. Now this has become a tourist site. Sri Lanka tourism is promoting the sites of Ramayana. So this can be promoted, and people in India, they still don't know. So when I visited these sites, I was very pleased to visit the sites where this thing happened. So we can promote this kind of tourism, niche tourism. War, it is not a good thing. But again, in tourism, we are promoting the war tourism, the sites. Like people visit Afghanistan to see the destructed sites, the war sites. So this kind of tourism is also booming up. We have Bhutan, where it is known for the ecotourism, the best place in the world, non-polluted place in the world, it is in Bhutan. So we can promote ecotourism in that place. So there are so many types of tourism which can be promoted. Well, I will not tell more about that. And lastly, I would just highlight on how Rotary clubs can contribute. How they can contribute, I think Madam, Sir, everybody, we have listened to their enlightened presentations. I am very new to Rotary. Just 2 years back I joined Rotary. But this guest who have come here, they are from so many years, and they have told us how the various schemes of the Rotary, how the exchange programs, how the sister clubs, they can promote tourism, how they can promote world peace and understanding, so many things. So I will not talk about that. But lastly, I will just end that we are Indians and peace is in our blood. We come from a land wherein before 2600 years, Buddha and Mahavira, they preached peace and non-violence to the world, which was again followed by Mahatma Gandhi. And today I think that every Rotarian in the world is an ambassador of peace. So with this, the ambassadors of peace who are staying here, who are sitting here,